Greetings, yogis. Let's get ready for this week's brief full body yoga flow. We'll start on our belly. Feel free to grab blocks or blankets, any other props that you want to use. You're welcome to use them. Of course, please modify today as it makes sense for you to do so. Challenge yourself where you can, back off if you need. We begin in a brief Sphinx pose, so lower all the way onto the belly. Slide both hands all the way out. Press through the hands, lift your chest, hug the elbows in a little bit, making sure that your elbows line up under your shoulders. So it's really easy to stay lifted here, right? If your elbows are further back, it's going to be a little more difficult for your head and your chest to stay lifted. We want to create space. Bring the hands out front. If you peek down, your forearm should look like the number 11. Spread the fingers wide, let the tops of the feet rest down, gaze softly past the nose. Keep the breath moving in and out through the nose. Sphinx is a nice yin yoga stretch, which if you've been practicing with me for a minute, you'll know that yin yoga stretches are wonderful for the body to do when it's still cold. You do not have to be warmed up to do these stretches. Just look past the nose. Let's keep the breath moving. And if you'd like to work this one a little bit deeper, the option is coming into seal pose, press through the hands, lift your elbows. And try to let the body soften into the stretch. So avoid taking tension in the shoulders, right? Drop the shoulders down a little bit away from the ears. And we'll take another full breath. Then bending at the elbows, we meet in Sphinx. Slide the hands in to opposite sides of the chest. Let your hands walk out a little bit to the sides so that if you peek at your fingers, your elbows, your arms are in a straight line reaching out from your shoulders. And you can even bring the fingertips off the mat a little bit. Press down, lift the chest again, creating a broader stretch through the torso. Let's actually add a little twist here. Drop your, lower your chest a little bit. Drop your right elbow, your right forearm onto the mat. Lift the chest so your left fingertips still down, left elbow lifting up. So open your chest a little bit to the left. Just a subtle twist. We'll come back, lower the left elbow, forearm on the mat. Now take the right fingertips, reach it out toward the side where it was. Opening up a little bit to the right, hold for one more breath. We'll return to center, both forearms on the mat, back in Sphinx. Just as a transition, slide the hands back in again, press onto hands and knees. Bring the feet around front as we set up a brief Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. And if you like, if the legs need a little TLC to warm up, you can always roll up a blanket behind the knees. That'll ease the hamstrings and the lower back. All 10 toes point up toward the sky. Start with the hands on the legs, then just walk your hands out toward the feet. If you can easily grab onto your feet, you're welcome to do so, or hold onto your big toes. Otherwise, just keep the hands on the shins, that's okay. Lengthen forward, maybe round a little bit. Keep the shoulders dropping away from the ears a little bit more. Let's hold for another deep breath. Slide the hands in, chest up. We'll put a bend in the right knee, Ardha Matsyendrasana. Step the right foot outside the left leg. Chest up, take a twist to your right side. Wrap the left arm, drop the right arm back, opening to the right. Sit tall, we'll hold for another full breath. Coming back to center, just a brief pause to the left in a counter stretch. Return to the middle, release the right leg, bend the left knee, step the left foot over, chest up, twist left. One more breath. Bring it to center. Again, little counter stretch to the right, brief pause. Come back to the middle, unwrap the left leg. We'll come on to hands and knees. We'll go right into downward facing dog with the hips up and back. Feel free to walk out your feet if you like, stretching out the legs. Just getting everything on board as we begin. And with a big inhale, lift the heels high. Big exhale, sink the heels down. Coming forward to plank pose. Lift your right toes off the mat, about an inch off the mat. Just let the toes hover. Big inhale. Exhaling, lower your right toes. Switch. Left toes lift up, only about an inch. We're just letting the toes hover. And lower the left toes. Sink the hips forward. Come into a high cobra pose. Chest up. You can untuck the toes. The knees rest on the mat in this variation of cobra. Right? Not exactly like your upward facing dog. Gaze past the nose. Take another deep breath in. And with your exhale, bring it back to down dog. Hips up and back. Lift the right leg up. Step to low lunge, bring your foot through the hands. Take warrior one, Virabhadrasana, back heel to the mat. As you press down, lift up. Hook the thumbs so the chest opens forward. Drop the shoulders, deep bend in the right knee. Lengthen the tailbone down the back leg. Just continue looking straight ahead for one more deep breath. Reach both arms behind the back, interlace fingers, setting up humble warrior. Come forward, round it down. Soften the head down, let the arms reach toward the sky. Keep the breath moving. One more time. And pressing through the legs, lift the head up, the chest up, drop both hands to the inside of the right foot. Take a little skandasana, side lunge, go left as you stretch the right leg. Bend deep through the left knee, and you can keep hands down for some balance, or you can bring the palms together for a little challenge on your balance. We'll take it into low lunge at the front. Lower your hands, come up, pivot, walk the hands around. When you get to low lunge at the front, lower the back knee. Ardha Hanuman half split. You'll straighten the right leg, give it a breath. Then bend up at the right knee, bring it back to down dog, step back. With your next inhale, bring it forward to plank. We'll chaturanga, or you can drop the knees here. Inhale, cobra or upward facing. And bringing it back to downward facing dog. Switch the sides, lift up the left leg. Step to low lunge, bring your foot through the hands. Warrior one, Virabhadrasana, the back heel spins down, press through, come up. Reach high. Hook your thumbs, take the opposite thumb in front. Chest forward, chest lifted. Look past your nose for one more breath. Humble warrior, arms behind you, interlace fingers, opposite pinky finger on top. Lengthen forward, round it down, head down. Arms up toward the sky. Let's hold for one more breath. Press through the legs, lift the head, the chest up, and drop both hands inside the left foot. Skandasana, go to the right. That's a side lunge. Bend deep through the right knee. Option to keep hands down or palms together in prayer. One breath. Lower both hands, low lunge. Take it to the front as you pivot, walk it around. When you face the front again, lower your back knee. Ardha Hanuman, half split. Straighten the left leg, hold for a breath. And bending up at your left knee, down dog, press back. Big inhale, take it forward to plank. Chaturanga or drop the knees. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Let's give it another full breath. Come on to hands and knees. Have a seat on your heels, setting up Virasana. Sit back, heels together, knees together, hands to the legs. Feel free to hold here, or you can take a block, slide it between the heels, either on the flat side or the middle height to take pressure off your knees. You can also take a blanket behind the knees. That'll also help you out there. If you're good to go, stay. If you have space to work it deeper, keep the knees drawing in toward each other. This is an internal hip rotation. And bring your knees in together. Let your feet separate so that your sit bones more easily meet the mat. You can hold here, right? Stay lifted. You can walk the hands back a little bit. We're not super warmed up, so I'm not going to instruct going all the way back, but certainly if you have the space to do so, if you have the flexibility and you are warmed up, if you've done another workout ahead of this one, feel free to take the deeper back bend. Otherwise, you can hold it right here, chest up, shoulders back, gaze past the nose. Let's take another full breath. We'll meet back upright. I'm actually gonna lift off my feet a little bit, bringing the feet all the way back together. So if you can bring the feet all the way together, sit tall, lift the arms overhead, then drop the right arm back and take your left hand to the right elbow. Just sit tall, letting the right tricep get a nice stretch here. Hold for a breath. Returning both arms overhead, go the other way. Bend the left elbow, take your right hand to the left elbow. Sit tall, one more breath. Release both arms down by your sides. Again, come off of your heels, bring the legs around front. Actually, bring the legs around front into Sukhasana. So bring the right ankle in front of the left, just a cross-legged seat. Sit tall. If you want to work this a little deeper, you can come into fire log pose. I'm going to do this facing you because it'll just be easier. Right ankle in front of the left. You can stay here, lean in, hands out if you have space to work it deeper, or if you want to really kick it up a notch, if the knees and hips are agreeable, fire log, Agni Stambhasana. The right shin on top of the left, keeping a straight line from your heel to your knee. If your right foot is torquing up like this, no bueno, right? We want to make sure that the foot is flat. Sit tall, either stay here or again, hands back lean or hands forward, lean in. Make sure the sit bones stay on the mat. Hold for another deep breath or two. And coming back as you return upright, we'll meet here, then switch the feet. So now if you're in Sukhasana, the cross-legged seat, your left ankle is lined up in front. You can hands back, lean in. You can walk the hands out, lean forward, all the way forward as long as your sit bones are on the mat. And if you're coming into fire log pose, you're bringing the left shin on top of the right. Again, straight line from your heel to your knee. Set yourself up for the stretch if you're leaning in or walking the hands out. Take another deep breath. And coming back out nice and easy. Return upright. We'll unwrap the legs, the feet, bending up at your knees. Separate the feet a few inches apart from each other. Drop the hands back. Drop your knees to the left. Drop your knees to the right. And one more time each side. Just windshield wiper, windshield wiper. Come back to center. Feel free to end your practice right here in a comfortable seated position. with a few deep breaths, just quietly meditating on the breath. Or if you'd like to take Shavasana, feel free to lay back, extending out the legs, closing the eyes if you have time to do so. Settling into a few moments of stillness. Just letting go of the practice.